The New Deal. The New Deal was imposed by Franklin D. Roosevelt, and it is what helped get him elected because it promised the people in America an answer and solution to their economic crisis during the time, which was the Great Depression. The Great Depression during the 1930s consisted of things like poverty, high unemployment, starvation, homelessness. People stood in line for hours, like in this picture, to get a free cup of soup. Sometimes that was all their family got. They begged for jobs. The baseline to FDR's New Deal was the 3 Rs: relief, recovery, and reform. Relief to those that were unemployed, poor, homeless, recovering the economic levels to help end the Depression, and then impose reforms to prevent another economic crisis. Those reforms were things like his programs, like the CCC, the Social Security Act, the FDIC, which we'll talk about later. And then there was the New Deal, which happened from 1933 to 1934, and the Second New Deal, which happened from 1935 to 1938. The first part of the New Deal that happened from 1933 to 1934 was mainly focused on putting faith back into the American banking system. And FDR did this with his fireside chats and mandatory bank holidays, which required banks to get a government approval before reopening. And then the second part of the New Deal, which occurred from 1935 to 1938, provided relief for farmers and created jobs with work programs like the WPA, Work Progress Administration, and the CCC, or the Civilian Conservation Corps. These put millions of men to work. Their jobs included things like rebuilding parks, roads, dams, and buildings. The CCC specifically was interested in young unmarried men. And then the Work Progress Administration allowed men to work away from home and send money back to their home. They were provided with like a uniform, a place to stay. They were paid about $30 a month, 25 of which would get sent home, and then they would keep the 5 to themselves. And then there was the Social Security Act, which provided financial relief to the elderly, allowed them to have faith in retiring and feel comfortable and not have to worry about providing for their family once they weren't able to do laborious jobs anymore. And then there was the FDIC, which guaranteed the safety of money put into banks. This allowed people to put their money into banks, and if it were to close down, they would still have access to their money. It wouldn't be gone forever, like during the Great Depression. There were many more programs, but those were some of the more famous ones. Although Roosevelt's New Deal helped a lot of people and gave a lot of people jobs, some of his opposers and economists would say that Roosevelt's New Deal was leading America towards a socialist standing, and that some even say that his programs were a waste of money and even prolonged the Depression.